Hello, Royal Nation. This is Coach Blumenstock broadcasting from my Corona crib. I've been working 10 hours a day in this room for the last 5 weeks, and this is where the engineering magic happens. But since we can't have a sports meeting this year, Mr. Bazin asked me to make a video. As all of my players know, I'm a bit technologically challenged, so I was able to cobble together some video comments regarding the Jackson Christian Varsity boys basketball team. Let's get started with some thank yous. First, a few parents that really helped out a great deal this year. Jeff Spry, very dependable on the camera. Ben Kuhn, very dependable on the scorebook. Thank you. I didn't have to worry about that. Any game night, you guys just took care of that. So thank you. Also want to thank Kelly Kuhn, Aaron Cartwright, and Dan Eddy for occasionally doing clock duty. So thank you. Thanks to Mike Bazin for taking care of all the athletic details. You're a really good athletic director. And I want to thank the parents for entrusting your sons to my coaching and leadership. I trust your sons told you about the life lessons that I shared with them. Hopefully they were impactful, occasionally funny, but my enjoyment in being coach, my reward in being coach isn't pay, isn't wins. It's about developing young men. So I had a good year doing that. We did devotions after each game. We'd often pause practice to talk about life lessons and how to be a success in life. So I really enjoyed that. I do want to thank Kyle Cochran, who worked with me this year. Very dependable, very invested, and even coached one game against Waldron. It was one of our wins this year. He did devotions in 2 games, did a really good job, and so he cared for your sons physically and spiritually too. So as a team, we won 6 games this year, and we had 15 losses. We either won big or we lost big. But we did have one very exciting game. It was a highlight game for me this year when we went into overtime and beat Baroque. So that was enjoyable and memorable. Several players, many of the players progressed during the year, got better, particularly some boys that got some opportunity to play during a period in which some of our starters were injured. So team got better, and I was proud of that. I do want to talk about each of the boys, and I'll quickly share some comments. AJ Cartwright was a very aggressive offensive player. I didn't need to tell AJ to shoot. He just knew how to do that. I remember through all the year, he was very respectful, would call me sir, and I appreciated that greatly. That young man can do push-ups like no other, and next year, AJ, work on your jump shot. It's going to be a big part of being even more aggressive on the offensive end. Derek Sanford was one of our best shooters. Keen memory I have of him this year was making a 3. I think it was on snow coming night, and he made a 3-pointer right in front of our own crowd, and I just saw a lot of joy on his face, and that meant a lot to me, and I'm sure it meant a lot to him. One thing I really respect about Derek is he loves the game of basketball even more than I do. So I haven't met many people that love basketball more than me, but Derek's one of them, and I respect that greatly. For next year, Derek, get the scramble side of defense down. Adam Kuhn was a starter this year, and early in the season clearly became one of our better defenders, and that's why I started him. I do remember a memory from Adam this year was when he started in our first game against East Jackson, and I've never seen a young man so nervous in his life. So, but he did well, and one thing I respect about you, Adam, is that you have the courage to do the hard things, and that lesson that you learned there will carry you forward in life. So use your confidence next year. Blaine Spry, one of our best athletes, and for Blaine, just sports comes easy, and I really respect that. Memory I have of Blaine this year is a few times he really got hot in practice, and he was making shots from way downtown, and remember one time he threw up a shot and he ran back to play defense, and in his own way he said in, and guys kind of cracked up and it went through the net, and it was a memorable moment. But Blaine, sports comes easy to him, and my advice to you is apply yourself to basketball, and you can be as good as you want to be. Tate is another freshman starter, or a freshman starter this year, and good player, one of our scoring options that we went to. Memory I have of Tate was we had an overnighter, and the boys played video games all night, and most tired out by 3-4 o'clock in the morning. But I woke up at 5:30 like I do every day, and Tate was still sitting there playing games. So loves those video games. One thing that I really respect about Tate is he had to change his game throughout the year. And so he's very good at left-hand layups and drawing fouls, but teams kind of knew that and took that away from him. And through the year, I know Tate really worked hard on jump shots and long three-pointers, and he got better at that. So I really respected his realization that he needed to change his game, and he did it. So keep working on that jump shot, Tate. Nathan Jackson was our starting center. Was our tallest player, I believe. Certainly our strongest. So Nathan played center for us. Memory I have of Nathan is we had a few 6 a.m. practices, and even on Saturdays, Nathan was always the first to practice. And I always respect kids that beat me to the gym. So Nathan, one thing I really respect about you is your focus. When I coach, when I talk to the team, when I stop practice, you always look me in the eye, and I know you're really paying attention, and I really appreciated that. So work on your strength and balance and get those knees all set up, and you're going to be really good next year. On to our seniors. Jaden was our enforcer this year. So he had an important role, and he played it well. Memory I have of Jaden was at home against Pittsburgh. He made 2 threes in the first half, and I saw him running back after he made his 3 with his fingers in a 3 sign, and that's not Jaden's game, but he made a couple threes and he was proud, and it was fun to see that. One thing I respect about you, Jaden, is no matter what you do, you're all in. You know, a lot of times when you would go to block shots, you were all in, and I got a little bit of fouls, but I respect that about you greatly, the way you approach things and get things done. So college next year, Jaden, avoid the distractions, stay focused on schoolwork. Tyler was our starting point guard this year, did a really good job of that. Had a heavy lift on helping out with the scoring, had a couple games in the 20-point range, and that really helped us out, propelled us to wins in those games. Memory I have of Tyler was he was injured for several games, 8 to 10 games, and then our last game of the year, got off the bus, got in the locker room, and there's Tyler with his shorts on and getting ready to play, and just was a real blessing, just a real breath of fresh air. So I was glad to see him return. And one thing I really respect about you, Tyler, is your courage to come back after injury. I know that's a tough thing to do. You're very talented, and in many aspects. And so as you go to school next year and as you move on in life, use those talents to serve the Lord. Nate was, in my humble opinion, our best player this year. Very skilled, had a good jump shot, did a lot of things for us. Memory I had of Nathan was we were playing at Camden, and it was the third quarter, and Camden was doing everything they could to try to stop Nathan, and I just realized that Nathan was a good player and would be a better player than I ever was. So one thing I respect about you, Nathan, is you work hard. This summer, you were in the gym 3 nights a week for at least an hour. Last summer, you were in the gym 3 nights a week for at least an hour. I know that because I'd opened the gym for you, but you put a lot of work into jump shots and skills, and it showed this year. So next year, as you go to college and as you go forward in life, use that work ethic to your advantage. And if you work hard, you'll be a success. Lastly, Kyle, assistant coach. I'm so glad that you worked with me this year. Memory I have of you is whenever our team would shoot 3-pointers, I'd hear you on the bench saying, one time. And I'll never forget that. One thing I respect about you is that you complimented my leadership well. When I failed as a leader, particularly after games, when I was upset about, disappointed in how we played, you would stand up and draw the team together and fill that leadership vacuum. So thank you. You're a good coach. And I look forward to the contributions you have for the school going forward. That's our JCS Royals for the 2019/20 season.